Hi everybody. Well, we have discussed a lot about probability, that is chance of occurrence of a particular event in our 11th standard syllabus, right? It's now time to move ahead and study probability in another extended version in this particular standard. The very first thing which you're going to discuss about is something known as conditional probability. So the very first head is conditional probability. What is the basis of such a probability? Suppose there is a random experiment and there are two events associated with that random experiment. Fine. Corresponding to every event, I can talk about the chance of occurrence of that event, that is probability of that event. You know that. Now the question is a bit modified in this regard. I am saying, suppose one event out of these two events has already occurred. Fine. One event out of these two events is occurring in some trial, for example. Then once you are sure that out of the two events, one event is occurring, after that, what is the probability of the occurrence of the other event? Basically, I am trying to say, how will occurrence of one event affect the probability of the occurrence of the second event? So if you have two events, the question which is primarily concerned with conditional probability is that how does occurrence of one event, say event A, how does occurrence of event A affect the probability, that is the chance of occurrence, probability of occurrence or happening or holding of another event, say event B, that the first event has already occurred, or are they increasing once you are sure that the first event has already occurred? This happens to be the question which needs to be addressed and answered under the very head conditional probability. Now what do I mean by one event has already occurred? Then how are the chances of occurrence of the other event are getting affected? How are the chances of occurrence of the other event getting affected? If one event has already occurred, how is that affecting the chance of occurrence of the other event? Let's try to understand this particular thing through an example. I am saying, consider the random experiment of tossing 3 coins. Now you have already addressed this very random experiment. What is the sample space associated to it? When you have 3 coins with you, that's coin 1, coin 2 and coin 3. First coin, second coin, third coin. First coin can deliver a head or a tail as a possible outcome. Second can deliver head or a tail. Third can deliver head or a tail. So in all, they are going to deliver 8 possible outcomes. When you toss all these 3 coins together, then they are going to deliver you 8 possible outcomes. Now the sample space is the set of all possible outcomes. Either you will be getting head on the first coin, head on the second coin and head on the third coin. That is one possible outcome, or head on the first coin, head on the second and tail on the third, or head on the first coin, tail on the second, head on the third, or head on the first coin, tail on the second and tail on the third. Or you can get tail in the first coin, tail in the second, tail in the third, tail in the first coin, tail in the second, head in the third, tail in the first coin, head in the second, tail in the third, tail in the first coin, head in the second, head in the third. These are the 8 possible outcomes which can arise when you toss the 3 coins together. Fine. Here, what basically I am taking is that each of these elementary events, each of these possible outcomes are equally likely to occur. Each possible outcome, that is each of the sample points sitting in the sample space, each possible outcome is equally likely to occur. The moment I am saying this, I already know the probability or chance of occurrence of each of these elementary events. I know that probability of each of these elementary events, if I say this is W1, W2, W3, W4, W5, W6, W7 and W8, then probability of Wi for every I is equal to 1 by total number of elementary events, which is 8. And this is for every I varying from 1 to 8. Fine. Each of these elementary events has probability 1 by 8. After this, the moment I have this with me, I already know how to calculate the probability of any other event which is not an elementary event. Probability of any event associated with this random experiment whose all elementary events are equally likely to occur is equal to or is computed by taking the ratio of number of favorable elementary events to that event whole upon total number of elementary events. That is going to give you the probability of that event associated with the random experiment whose elementary events are equally likely to occur. Is it clear? Now here I don't have any other event right now. Let me talk about two events in this case. If I am saying consider two events, A event, first of all I would be defining at least two heads appear. At least two heads appear. That means A is the set of all those elementary events which are representing that in the output of tossing 3 coins there are at least 2 heads sitting. Which are such elementary events? Well, at least 2 heads, at least 2 heads, at least 2 heads. This is only 1 head, this is no head, 1 head, 1 head, at least 2 heads. So I have H, 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 then I have H, H, T, then I have H, T, H, and I have THH. These are the 4 elementary events, 4 possible outcomes favorable to event A because in them at least 2 heads are appearing. If A is this event associated to this particular random experiment, what is probability of event A? Number of favorable outcomes or those elementary events out of all the elementary events which are favorable to event A upon total number of elementary events associated with the random experiment. So, number of elementary events favorable to event A. Out of 8 elementary events in total, these 4 elementary events are favorable to event A. They are sitting as sample points in set A. So, 4 is the number of elementary events favorable to event A upon total number of elementary events, which is 8. So, you get 1 by 2 as probability of occurrence of event A. Now, I am saying I define another event, say event B. Event B says tail appears in the first coin. Which are the elementary events out of all the elementary events which are representing that the output obtained when you are tossing 3 coins is such that tail is coming on the first coin. Tail is coming on the first coin in none of these outcomes. Tail is coming on the first coin in here, tail is coming on the first coin in here and in here. So, there are 4 possible outcomes out of 8 possible outcomes which ensure that tail is coming on the first coin. That means there are 4, these 4 that I have underlined are the 4 elementary events out of 8 elementary events which are favorable to event B. So, write it down. I have TTT, THT, TTH and THH. These are the 4 possible outcomes out of all possible outcomes which are favorable to event B. And therefore, what will be the probability of event B? It will again be 4 upon 8 because 4 is the number of elementary events favorable to B upon total number of elementary events, that is 8. So, 1 by 2. Let us calculate one more thing and there will be a reason attached to it which I will be disclosing later. A intersection B. You know that A intersection B is also an event associated with the random experiment with which A and B individually are associated as events. So, A intersection B consists of those elementary events which are sitting in A as well as in B. So, can you see anything common between A and B? HHH is not there, this is not there, this is not there, but yes, THH is the only elementary event which is common. So, just pick up those elementary events which are common, create a set out of them, and that is your event A intersection B. If A intersection B is this, that means only one elementary event THH out of 8 elementary events is favorable to the event A intersection B. So you write the number of elementary events favorable to A intersection B upon total number of elementary events. So out of 8, only one elementary event THH is favorable to event A intersection B. So 1 upon 8 is the probability of occurrence of A intersection B. Keep these three things aside and focus upon a new question. I am saying, suppose the outcome is such that tail appears on the first coin. Are you understanding? Suppose outcome that you have obtained when you are tossing 3 coins is such that tail appears on the first coin. That means this is happening now. Tail is appearing on the first coin when you have tossed 3 coins in a certain trial. That means either the outcome is TTT or TTH or THT or THH. One of these 4 outcomes has occurred. One of these 4 outcomes has occurred in this trial. So out of so many trials you are performing, there is a certain trial in which you have tossed 3 coins and the outcome that has obtained is such that there is tail sitting in the first coin for sure. That means either the outcome is TTT or THT or TTH or THH, because only in these 4 outcomes tail is sitting as the outcome in the first coin. From there on, pick up the very situation from there on. Now that you are sure that tail is appearing on the first coin, that is one of these 4 outcomes have come. Now what is the probability of occurrence of the outcome in which there will be at least 2 heads? If you are sure that one of these 4 outcomes is coming, after the occurrence or happening or holding of one of these 4 outcomes, now what is the probability that the outcome will be such that there will be at least 2 heads in that outcome? So here if I am saying that tail is appearing on the first coin, you know that appearance of tail in the first coin is actually my event B. So if tail is appearing on the first coin, that means event B has occurred. Question is now, what is the probability now? That means after event B has occurred, after you are sure that outcome is one of only these 4 outcomes, TTT, THT, TTH, THH, because tail is appearing on the first coin. Once you are sure that outcome is one of these 4 outcomes only, now what is the probability that, at least 2 heads appear? Now appearance of 2 heads, at least 2 heads, is actually event A. So question is, what is the probability of occurrence of event A? Try to get the question very nicely. I know event B has occurred. Now after occurrence of event B, what is the probability of occurrence of event A? That means I need to find probability of occurrence of event A when you already know that B has occurred. This is what you need to find. Find the probability of occurrence of A when B has already occurred. When you are sure that the outcome that is obtained is having tail in the first coin, then what is the probability that there will be at least 2 heads in the outcome? If you are sure that tail is appearing in the outcome as in the first coin, then what is the probability or what are the chances of occurrence of at least 2 heads? Here what do you think you will do? What do you think should be the scenario? Now see, the moment I am saying B has already occurred, that means one of these 4 outcomes TTT, THT, TTH and THH has occurred. one of these 4 outcomes is going to occur, right? Don't you think that now my sample space has reduced? Sample space was the set of all the possible outcomes, but now I am sure that because event B has occurred, HHH can never occur because this does not have tail as the first coin. HHT cannot occur because this also does not have tail in the first coin. This cannot occur, this cannot occur. So if these 4 cannot occur, once I am sure that event B is occurring, then obviously they are removed from the set of possible outcomes that can occur. Now the possible outcomes, once you are sure that event B is occurring, is this, 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 this. So my sample space has changed. And once I am sure that only these 4 are my possible outcomes, among these 4 possible outcomes now sitting in my new sample space, I will be watching out for those possible outcomes which are favorable to my event A. Only out of these 4. Because once one of these 4 has occurred, then I want to talk about the probability of occurrence of event A. Okay? So, I am only concerned with these 4 elementary events which are favoring the occurrence of event B. These rest 4 are of no use. So, generally when you find probability of any event, what you do? Among all the elementary events which are my possible outcomes, you find out the number of those elementary events which are favorable to my event. Divide that number by total number of elementary events and you get the probability. But now that you are sure that event B has already occurred, that means your sample space will be reducing. Now the possible outcomes will be only those which are favoring the occurrence of event B. Now my possible outcomes are what? If B has occurred, then set of possible outcomes. B means tail is appearing on the first coin. Set of possible outcomes is what? Either TTT can come, or THT, or TTH, or THH. This is the set of possible outcomes, or I will say this is my new sample space. This is my new sample space. Isn't B itself coming out to be my new sample space? Yes, it is set B only or event B only which is coming out to be my new sample space because only these 4 events were favoring event B. So, if event B is occurring, that means one of these 4 is only occurring. So, now this itself, whatever elementary events were favoring event B are now my new set of possible outcomes. Once event B has occurred, that means one of these 4 has occurred. Definitely one of these 4 will be occurring once you know this. Now I am asking what is the chance of occurrence of an elementary event in which there are at least 2 heads sitting once you are sure that the first coin is having tails. Once you are sure that out of the outcome on the 3 coins, first coin is having tail, then what is the probability of the occurrence of head in at least 2 coins? Are you understanding? That means I have to have those elementary events will be favorable to now event A which have first coin as tails and rest 2 as heads. Are you understanding? Because I am saying to find out the chance of occurrence of event A when event B has already occurred. That means once you are sure that tail is sitting on the first coin, find out those elementary events which have at least 2 heads sitting in them. If tail is fixed to be sitting on the first coin, that means the rest 2 places will be filled by heads if you need at least 2 heads. So, the only elementary event which will be sitting in B favoring the occurrence of event A is THH, because it has tail sitting in the first coin and it has at least 2 heads. So, elementary events favorable to A, or let me write elementary events in B favorable to A is just this. Are you understanding? So, basically what we are trying to do is, don't go and search for at least 2 heads in here, because that is going to give you HHH, HHT, HTH, THH, right, and divided by 8. No, That is not. That is probability of A. That is probability of occurrence of event A. That at least 2 heads appear. That is probability of occurrence of event A. But I don't want to find out probability of occurrence of event A. I want to find out probability of A when B has already occurred. So if B is occurring, that means only those are my possible outcomes which are favoring event B. So either this is occurring, or this is occurring, or this is occurring, or this is occurring. Among these, once you know B is occurring, then what is the probability of occurrence of event A? That means in order to calculate now the probability of occurrence of event A, the formula is not going to change. Number of favorable outcomes to event A upon total number of outcomes, but from where are you taking the total number of outcomes is going to change. There will be a new sample space, because now only these 4 can be my possible outcomes. And among them, which possible outcomes are favoring event A? Because after this, event A is going to occur, right? So one thing is sure, that on the first coin, tail will definitely sit. If on the first coin tail will definitely sit, then I have to find out at least 2 heads chance of occurrence. That means I will have to find out the favorable outcomes to event A from among these 4 outcomes only, possible outcomes only. Fine? Absolutely, absolutely the chance of occurrence of these 4 elementary events in the sample space has eradicated. These 4 will not be appearing in here, because event B is definitely occurring, and event B is occurring means there is tail on the first coin, and these 4 elementary events do not have tail on the first coin. Is it clear? If you are sure the tail is on the first coin, then which are the elementary events which are favoring event A? Then which are the elementary events which are favoring event A means which among these has at least 2 heads? Only this has at least 2 heads. Only this has at least 2 heads. So I write elementary events in B which are favoring event A are just 1. And now if you try to understand the story nicely, this is my new sample space. Total number of outcomes in the new sample space are 4, and from my new sample space, those elementary events which are favoring event A is just 1. So what will be the probability of occurrence of event A when B has already occurred? It will be number of elementary events in B which are favorable to A upon total number of elementary events in B. Clearly this is not equal to 1 by 2, which was my probability of A. So please don't confuse probability of A with probability of A when B has already occurred. It is different. Here the sample space is taken to be your primary sample space, the first one consisting of all the elementary events. From here you choose the elementary events which are favorable to A. But when you have to find out probability of A when B has already occurred, then you take B as the sample space. From there you find out those elementary events which are favoring event A, and then you count this number, and then by the same formula, number of elementary events in B which are favorable to A upon total number of elementary events in B gives you the answer. So you can just think that in here my original sample space is the sample space. But in here, what is happening is B is happening to be my sample space, and A is one of the events associated with B or a subset of B. Is it understood? Then the formula remains the same. From the sample space, choose the number of, or find out the number of elementary events favorable to A divided by the total number of elements in the new sample space, that is 4. Is it clear? This is what is known as, this 1 by 4 is what is known as, or probability of occurrence of B when A has already, probability of occurrence of A when B has already occurred is denoted by probability of A by B. This is known as conditional probability of A given B has occurred. Is it clear? This is what is conditional probability. We're going to talk about this in detail and get to the formal discussion on this in the next lecture. So I'll see you then. Thank you.